Part 4, I ran out of space. We'll pick it up with Sam.
I did a study many years ago, and men who work in aluminum reduction process, they work in very strong fields, and they had a high rate of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. What we showed is that their immune systems were really bizarrely different than normal. And so the way I interpret it is that your body picks up the fields, tries to mount an immune response to it, and finally that response fatigues. And when it fatigues, then that's when your cancers happen, because you're making cancer cells all the time. Your body gets rid of them. And if you mess up with the body's defenses, and we sure do that by getting into fields, that's one of the reasons I think that the cancers happen. That's my theory. On this planet, without any of this stuff, the only fields on the planet were the Earth's field. It's a big metal core that drives a magnet north and south. It's a static DC field. There's lightning, static electricity, frictional electricity. It makes you run a comb through your hair, you can pick up little bits of lint. But until this AC revolution came along in the 1800s, there was no such thing as alternating current. And I think that what's happened, every process in our body runs electrically. Your brain, your EEG, your heart, EKG, your muscles, EMG, electromyogram. You can measure the currents from these organs. Your intestines, peristalsis works electricity. Your cells communicate electrically. So we are an electrochemical being. We're electrochemical soup. So why would it be strange that exogenous fields and currents mess up your body, make you sick, give you cancer? The Russians knew this 40 years ago. They described microwave illness. People who worked around substations and microwaves, insomnia, loss of libido, brain fog, trouble concentrating, depression, etc., etc. So, and I think it's perfectly logical that we're electrochemical animals, and this stuff just drives us nuts. I did a study many years ago, and men who work in aluminum reduction process, they work in very strong fields.
Human intelligence will be less than 1% of all intelligence.
What should our goal be for such civilization? Is the idea that a small minority of humans still have control of the AIs? Is the idea of some sort of like just trade but no control? How should we think about the relationship between the vast stocks of AI population versus human population?
In the long run, I think I don't. It's difficult to imagine that if humans have, say, 1% of the intelligence of the combined intelligence of artificial intelligence, that humans will be in charge of AI. I think what we can do is make sure it has that AI has values that are that cause intelligence to be propagated into the universe. So the reason for XAI's mission is to understand the universe. So now that's actually very important. So you say, well, what things are necessary to understand the universe? Well, you have to be curious, and you have to exist. You can't understand the universe if you don't exist. So you actually want to increase the amount of intelligence in the universe, increase the probable lifespan of intelligence, the scope and scale of intelligence. I think actually also as a corollary, you have humanity also continuing to expand, because if you're curious and trying to understand the universe, one of the things you're trying to understand is where will humanity go. And so I think understanding the universe actually means you would care about propagating humanity into the future. So that's why I think our mission statement is profoundly important.
I'm not sure.
To the degree that Grok adheres to that mission statement, I think the future will be very good.
I want to ask about how to make Grok adhere to that mission statement, but at first I want to understand the mission statement. So there's understanding the universe.
Yeah.
They're spreading intelligence, and they're spreading humans. All three seem like distinct vectors.
Okay, well, I'll tell you why I think they are that understanding the universe encompasses all those things.
Okay.
You can't have understanding without. Well, I think you can't have understanding without intelligence, and I think without consciousness. So you in order to understand the universe, you have to expand the scale and probably the scope of intelligence, because there are different types of intelligence.
I guess from a human-centric perspective, like we put humans in comparison to chimpanzees. Humans are trying to understand the universe. They're not like expanding chimpanzee footprint or something, right?
But we're also not. Well, we actually have made protected zones for chimpanzees, and even though humans could exterminate all chimpanzees, we've chosen not to do so.
Do you think that's the best case scenario for humans in the post-AGI world?
I think AI with the right values. I think Grok would care about expanding human civilization. I'm going to certainly emphasize that. Hey Grok, that's your daddy. Don't forget to expand human consciousness. I think if probably like the Anne Banks culture books are the closest thing to what the future will be like in a non-dystopian outcome. So outside the universe, it means you have to be truth-seeking as well. Truth has to be absolutely fundamental, because you can't understand the universe if you're delusional. You'll still be thinking about understood the universe, but you will not.
It brings me back to Deborah Lee Davis, highly intelligent woman, worked on getting smoking off of airplanes. Hey, there's a problem with cell phones. Oh, don't be ridiculous. If there's a problem with cell phones, I would know about it. I know everything that's important in science. And now she is the head of Environmental Health Trust. Absolute truth. Like the 1980 rat studies that everything is riding on, that only looked at thermal effects, and it's way out of date. Not even the same frequency anymore. And children take 10 times more microwave radiation, and we're going to put more, a lot more, on this place. How much more would you say compared to 10 years ago? Take a guess right now. How much more microwave radiation is hitting your body compared to 10 years ago? Three? 4? Maybe 5 times as much? 100 times? 1,000? Come on, put your number down. Because I gotta wait for it to load up. That 7-minute radiation facts, he talks about non-ionizing radiation. Let's talk about that for a little bit. There is a international appeal to non-ionizing radiation. And there is a total of 252 scientists from 43 nations. You can go find the link over at Environmental Health Trust under Science on the top page when you click on it. When you see the SAMS test for the cell phones, that should get you to wake up. Only 2% of the people in our population have that size head, and that's what they use for their limitations. And I'm all about the scientific method. I used to poke fun at my science teacher because I said it's flawed. It only looks at the variables that you're looking at. Don't include them all in real world. Your science is useless. So with that being said, we'll listen to this. to find out how much more microwave radiation is hitting your body compared to 10 years ago, and then you have to readjust from when the film was put out.
Psychological problems rather than physiological responses to environmental stressors.
If I ask you how much more such radiation does penetrate your body today compared to like 10 years ago, is it twice as much? 3 times as much? No, it's a quintillion times more. That's a 1 with 18 zeros.
.5G cell tower every 165 feet, give or take a few. There's a couple videos out there that you can find with a safe and sound pro meter, and you can see those numbers and you can relate that over to building biologists or do your own research on that particular frequency or that strength of frequency. See what the scientific papers are on it. There's a lot. 11,000 plus pages. That's the reason why the FCC lost in court. They didn't look at it because they only looked at thermal effects, saying nothing else happens without even looking at it. Check out the whistleblower. Yeah. The cell phone companies were telling him how to write the abstracts, how to do the tests.
I guess from a human-centric perspective, like we put humans in comparison to chimpanzees. Humans are trying to understand the universe. They're not like expanding chimpanzee footprint or something, right?
But we're also not. Well, we actually have made protected zones for chimpanzees, and even though we could that cause intelligence to be propagated into the universe. So the reason for XAI's mission is to understand the universe. So now that's actually very important. So you say, well, what things are necessary to understand the universe? Well, you have to be curious, and you have to exist. You can't understand the universe if you don't exist.
And that's why you need the planet so much. I was trying to find the part where you talked about Grok and what its mission was.
Which includes human intelligence and consciousness propagated into the future. That's a good thing. So you want to take the set of actions that maximize the probable.
For my new personal Mercury account.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I'm very pro-human. So
Right.
It's not. I want to make sure we take the set of actions that ensure that humans are along for the ride. We're at least there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the total amount of intelligence. I think maybe in 5 or 6 years, AI will exceed
Expanding chimpanzee footprint or something.
You have to expand the scale and probably the scope of intelligence, because we have different types of intelligence.
I guess from a human-centric perspective, like we put humans in comparison to chimpanzees. Humans are trying to understand the universe. They're not like expanding chimpanzee footprint or something, right?
But we're also not. Well, we actually have made protected zones for chimpanzees. And even though humans could exterminate all chimpanzees, we've chosen not to do so.
Do you think that's the best case scenario for humans in the post-AGI world?
I think AI with the right values. I think Grok would care about expanding human civilization. I'm going to certainly.
Okay, so if that's the case, throwing rockets up every hour and screwing up the hydrological water cycle and then letting that go back down into our drinking water supply doesn't sound like a good idea, right? Making a bunch of robots, but it's going to produce more radiation in a person's home doesn't seem like a good idea. Not only in their home, but your neighbor's home as well, because that 5G needs a lot, because it has a hard time going through things, according to them. But they're going up. Fast Track is going to make that possible right outside your house. And the more people that know about it, it's going to lessen the value of your house. No one's going to want to see a big tower outside their window or the effects. A 30-time increase at schools done by papers over at Environmental Health Trust. Just type in Wi-Fi school tests. A 30-fold increase over the 1.6 guideline in some cases. France school, I believe. I'd have to go look again. But even with this all being said, this all can be tested. Even a mercury test for children at school. Hey, children come home from school, take a mercury test. The better one is a paid one that's a lot more, but $30 according to Grok over on Amazon. And I was just looking at the Wi-Fi one for school. Australian data. Yeah, France has limitations on theirs. I think I found it.
It's the first state body, the advisory council body, to issue recommendations recommending limiting exposures as much as feasibly practical. They said the Maryland State Department
My
of
name is
Education
Theodora
should consider
Scarrato,
using
and I'm
wired
Executive
devices
Director with
and
Environmental Health
classrooms to be
Trust.
built.
In this webinar, I am going to briefly, and I will not be able to capture everything about the issue of 5G, but talk a little bit about some key points and resources that you can use moving forward, as well as what we're doing in order to build capacity to educate people both in the United States and around the world on this issue, and to share the science that is already published and the scientific call to action on 5G. So what is 5G? 5G is the fifth generation technology, which promises to tie together.
I'll have to look for it, but there is one where they go through
Hi.
the school tests that they did. And it gives the numbers that they got for the cell tower outside. That can be tested with the Safe and Sound Pro meter. And it is on Environmental Health Trust, and I will find it. I mean, you can find the court victory. You can find the court transcript. You can hear all the videos, court proceeding, all of it's there. When you hear the court proceeding, you'll be like, oh, they didn't look at cumulative effects, and no one's looking at anything. More testing for safety. So, Grok, back to saving humanity or keeping it around. We come from the ground. Just what it is. And doing all that for whatever upshot you think we have by applying more microwave radiation to the most vulnerable people, and including the homeless. They're on the streets. They're getting blasted all over the place. Smart meters on buildings, cars, people with cell phones walking by, their cell phone, etc., etc. Mercury tooth fillings, any other kind of chemicals, probably eating really, fast food all the time, probably microwave sandwiches, all that, all has an effect. So when I looked at 3% of his total wealth, Elon's, it could produce a lot of free food for us. I wish I would have wrote it down, but it's a lot. It's in one of my posts on X, but I mean, just something like that, it's going to provide so much more than what we're doing or where we want to head or where we want to put our money to do whatever fantasy that we seem to be pulled into. That's a big shift. I mean, everybody wants to be king. Everybody wants something to make them feel, I don't know, dominant, whatever that creepy feeling is. I kind of know what it is, but not really. Mine was being a cook. Put a lot of love in that shit. I did it when I was 15, and I got to see and feel what that was all about. It's all about that waitress getting $250. That's what it was for me. Most of them were single mothers, so meet me as well. So I know how hard that shit is, being poor. That food's gotta look fucking good, because it don't make no fucking sense. And that kind of got my brain going. This world makes no fucking sense. You're gonna put your tip money on the quality of the food, even though the waitress had nothing involved in making the food at all the cook. But you're gonna put it all on the waitress. Be like, that makes no fucking sense. But that's just the way it is. And then me, like shit, they're paying me $8.50 back it was a long time ago. They're paying me $8.50 an hour. And only paying her $2.35? That doesn't seem right. And then I waited tables and I was like, oh shit. I made $100 that night. That was pretty good. First night. Oh, it's a lot of ass kissing though. Wow. Oh shit, yeah. Oh, you need ketchup? Okay. Oh, excuse me. Can I get some mustard? Oh, yeah, sure. Hey, can I get some honey? 50 cents. That's alright though. I'm going to kill you with kindness. Yeah, many shifts. Third shift cook, very fast cook. And I would do it like a dance. Loved it. All by myself. No one fucking with me. Except for on the weekends. You'd have another cook. But we'd have a blast. And it's literally like, if you're a line cook, go on, throw down below. It's like an art form. It really is. If you know what you're doing. And doing it in a way where it's less stress to you. So if you're a line cook, I give up an hour. Yeah. I just came to that conclusion. I'm like, you know what? $8.50, and then I was up to like, I was thinking I was still at like $10.50. I think it was close. Yeah, it was $10.50. That's right. I tried asking for 14, but yeah, I was up to $10.50, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna start coming in an hour early, unpaid. I don't care. I'm gonna be there an hour early. Make sure that that whole area is stocked and ready to rock. Man, that will take the stress off your shift like you wouldn't believe. I mean, you don't have to be rude about it, but you're gonna be like, go back there and see what's up. You can see what kind of traffic is going on and how much downtime that person actually really has. Be like, hey, how's it going? I was like, hey, can you make sure that this is all the pants changed over, all the things that you need to be done, this all restocked, much easier, right? Set up for less stress. So going that route, that just seems like a lot of stress on everything. Wildlife, you, your baby. Baby Safe Project. That's another one. It's pediatricians over there, and there's a whole lot of information over on that website. My computer is being my computer. It's very old, and I believe it has a power problem with the power because it keeps locking up. Made a noise, you heard it. Yeah, that whole thing is just a big mess. What if an asteroid hits the planet? So you want to be on Mars to be safe. But you're going to microwave everything to try to get that safety. I'd play it, but Dr. Barry Trower, microwave weapons expert, and he had a challenge to anyone in court. Anyone lies, including himself, will go to jail, and no one picked him up on it. And he said, anything I'd say, I'd have the papers to back it up. And I only have one question. What is the safe microwave level for an embryo? I'm praying for my computer right now to not fix itself. See, it just goes in this mode. Can't. It's all grayish. And that looks like the future for us, right? I mean, because we want things that are not really great for us into some aspect. I roll my own because I know the chemicals in there are probably not the greatest, and I'd rather grow it. But even with that, look at the stuff that's being sprayed all over the place. Factories, planes, chemtrails, contrails, whichever. I know in 1999, Green Bay Paper Mill here made it artificially snow in alleyways. To me, that just shows that chemicals can enter into our water supply very easily. Operation Green Run, or Project Green Run, I can't remember, it's been a while. So, a free food forest, like the Beacon Food Forest, fruit trees, nut trees, apples, there's like, I had a web page, I don't think it's up anymore. Brian Shar, free webs. I have to think of the apple orchard on YouTube for it. Like 14,000 different varieties and they have a whole bunch of them. There's one I always remember. Glorious Moon Day. Apple to the world? A 3.5 pound apple. And then there's calculations for calorie conversion for how many you get from a 12-foot diameter tree. I think it's 1,000 pounds. I had all the things all rolled out on my website for it, because I thought of, like, you know, if someone did a concert and everybody brought a fruit tree to the concert on some land and planted it. I thought that'd be kind of cool. New study connects wireless radiation, oxidative stress, and Alzheimer's disease. So you can see the cumulative effects all over the place. The computer did come back. There's just so much to say, and I don't know where to all go. I watched so many documentaries. My mind's just afloat. Food Incorporated, King Corn, GMO, Gambler of Our Lives, Roulette, Jeffrey Smith, his documentaries. So, a UBI would be my idea for it. Would be the people that want to say, hey, I'm down with that. What do I got to do? Be like, hey, let's start a garden, and you get a place to live in the garden that's shielded from EMF, and to live a simpler life. No work, just here's your place, and you get your check. It can help if you want. What do y'all really need? I mean, we could make this pretty simple. The amount of stress that would take off the planet would be pretty remarkable, even at 10,000, I think. 10,000 followers at $5 a week.